Purpose. The reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. I feel like me writing this book is a part of my purpose. The reason I am here, my very existence, is to help others, to pass on the knowledge that I have learned through experience and observation, to tell some hard truths, things that we might not want to hear, but that we need to hear, a voice of reason and a listening ear. When you feel like the world gave up and turned its back on you, I believe in order for us to find and be truly happy, we must all know our purpose. However, knowing your purpose is only half the battle. Once you know your purpose, you must work daily trying to live it out. It is the effort on your part energy that you have to exert to breathe life into your purpose. We live in a world full of distractions. Now with social media, the world has got much bigger and busier. Every day, when you wake up, it is imperative that you become in tune with yourself. Don't forget to take a minute to meditate, clear your mind, and organize your thoughts. A healthy mind is the first step to living in your purpose. You must seek clarity every day. A lot of people ask the question, how do I know what my purpose is? Or how do I find my purpose? It's simple. A lot of times we have the answers to our questions. We just have to dig a little deeper into our subconscious. I know for me as a child, I was naturally inquisitive and unusually observatory. I loved to read. I loved to learn about new things. I was super creative. I always had a voice. Think back to your childhood. What stands out to you? What did you love to do? You loved it so much, you would rush home to do it every day. You will find your purpose in what you enjoy doing. For me, it was reading and writing. I loved to express myself. As a child, I would stay up late and get lost in a book. I was told children are to be seen, not heard. But when I would write in my journal, I would find my voice. It was a place where I could express myself without judgment, and I loved it. That's how I knew that I wanted to be a writer. That was the beginning of me cultivating my purpose. So my advice to you is to think over all the things that you really enjoy doing. All the things that come naturally to you. What do you go to sleep dreaming about? What can't you get out of your mind, no matter how hard you try? Do that. Pursue that. What often gets us confused in pursuing our purpose is title. What do I mean by title? A label that we are given to define us in our endeavors. Did you ever work a job or a career with decent pay? It had either minimal or maximum benefits to entice you to stay. Now you know you really can't stand the job or the people that work there, especially your boss. However, it has a nice title, so you stick with it because you want to sound important when your friends and family ask you what you do for a living. You dress up your shitty job even though you know you are not happy. You do this all for a title that sounds good and some fringe benefits that they throw your way. Oh, I'm an executive assistant, aka a secretary. Oh, I'm chief operations of production, aka you work in a bread factory. Now don't get me twisted, I'm not knocking anyone's hustle. Get it how you live. Do what you have to do to provide for your family. However, never become complacent. Complacency is where dreams and purpose go to die. If you are not living in your purpose, you will never be happy getting up in the morning to go to the job that you hate, just for a title and a false sense of security. Remember that you are living in a bubble that can be burst at any given moment. You will never have security when you do not create opportunities and income for yourself. You might think that if you work a little harder at your dead-end job, they will acknowledge and recognize you with the bonus and raise. More times they won't. And if they do know that you are replaceable to them, they would gladly pay someone new less to do the same job that you have been doing for years. Wake up. You are a walking zombie if you are not living every day to your full potential. And you can't do that at your dead-end job or career, no matter what dreams or promises they try to sell you. Having a false sense of security and staying in that stagnant place is counterproductive to your growth and finding your purpose. You have become complacent whether you realize it or not. All the dreams and ideas you once had in your early youth, you have given up on your dreams and ideas and put them aside on the back burner. Remember all the things that you said you were going to do? What happened? Procrastination? Life? It's true in life, there are a lot of unexpected occurrences that can throw you off your game. But you have to be smarter than your circumstances. You have to learn from your mistakes and not repeat them over and over again. You have to essentially get out of your own way. Trust me, I know it's hard. Hell, I'm still a work in progress myself. There is nothing wrong with not having all the pieces to the puzzle. Essentially, having all your shit together, where you fail at is not having self-awareness. It is so true, as the saying goes, you can be your worst enemy. This is because only you can stop yourself from progressing. Only you can fill yourself with doubt. Of course, someone else can plant the seed, but you allow it to grow by believing in it and keeping their negative words in your thoughts. Webster describes self-awareness as the capacity for introspection and the ability to recognize oneself as an individual separate from the environment and other individuals. In layman's terms, knowing yourself, knowing your triggers, what makes you mad, sad, and happy, what you like, what you don't like, what you are willing to do as well as what you're not willing to do. Never compromise your integrity. How far are you willing to go to achieve your goals in life? In order to hone your purpose, you must develop self-awareness. Holding yourself accountable for your actions and stop making excuses for your behavior. There is no growth in making excuses. So you may ask, how do I become more self-aware? The first step is making changes in your thoughts and how you interpret things in your mind. This is where I relay back to having clarity and a healthy mind. It is very important because a person who is sick in their mind cannot grow, let alone live in their purpose. Please do not get confused. Being sick in your mind doesn't necessarily mean mental illness, although that can be a factor. It means your head is so filled up with things that you are not beneficial to you. When this happens, the clarity and understanding you seek cannot be obtained until you free your mind. This is why it is not good to worry or stress about things that you are not in your capacity to control. I know what you are thinking, that it's easier said than done. You are correct, but when something is not easy, it is usual for your benefit. Trust that I struggle with this daily, but I am self-aware that this is not beneficial to my growth. I consciously make efforts to fill my head with positive thoughts and work on things that are in my control. Okay, back to being self-aware. Changing how your mind interprets things allows you to change your emotion. Self-awareness is essentially having emotional intelligence. Knowing your triggers is definitely being self-aware and not having other individuals evoke things out of you that you do not want to convey. Your attitude also determines if you are going to become more self-aware. You cannot just be conscious of doing the wrong thing or reacting in a way you know you shouldn't react. Knowing that you are doing it yet making excuses as to why you are doing it and still continuing with the bad behavior is counterproductive. It's like knowing cigarettes is bad for me and my health, but saying fuck it, I'm going to do what I want without consequence. Your attitude is on Kanye and you give zero fucks. That is not the way to become more self-aware, which will keep you from reaching your full potential and overall wellness. Before you even get to the point of contention, don't get caught in other people's traps. What I mean by this is there will always be something there to trigger you. Do not get caught up into that. Know that it is there. Expect it to be coming and move past it with your dignity and grace still intact. Essentially, do not let someone take you outside of your character. The more you go outside of your character and actions that you do, the longer it will take you to live in your purpose. Those things are hindering. They will always be there. They are not going anywhere. You have to be more self-aware so that you are equipped to deal with them. Telling yourself that you know better is not self-awareness. Knowing better and doing better are two different things. Making excuses for yourself will get you nowhere. Holding yourself accountable with no efforts towards changing will also get you nowhere. It is reminiscent of a person apologizing but doing the same thing they apologized for repeatedly. You are basically saying, I know what I did was wrong, but not taking steps to make sure that wrongdoing never happens again. Know your thoughts and behavior patterns. Look at things that have happened in your past. How have you reacted to them? I am sure there are things that you wish you could change. Did you learn from them? Are you repeating the same patterns today? Are you so stuck in your ways that you are afraid to change? You have to know that you want better for yourself. You have to know that as hard as it might be to change, it will be even harder when you look up one day and your ship has sailed. You will be disappointed in yourself that you allowed your stubbornness and fear to stop you from living in your purpose and therefore living the best life possible. The ability to empathize facilitates better personal and professional relationships. Putting yourself in the shoes of others, you can be aware of how you are coming across as well as understanding the motives behind the things that the people in your life do. Once there is understanding, the gates of communication and having healthy beneficial interactions becomes imminent. Self-awareness is developed by focusing on the details of your personality and behavior. When you are becoming self-aware, think of it as ACT. More than just reading mantras and motivating others. Make it something that you do every day. Put it into practice and implement it into every aspect of your life. Now, this book cannot be with you every step of the way. There will be some trying times. People will try you. They will press every one of your buttons on the elevator of your mind, body, and soul. There will be real occurrences in real time, and I know your first reaction will not be, oh, let me get this book to help calm my nerves and get me through. I can only give you the tools, but you have to build the foundation yourself. There are going to be some growing pains, trust me. When you become self-aware, you automatically begin to see things about your personality and behavior that you were not aware of before. If you notice that you react in an emotional way to things with anger and being frustrated, you have to know what causes you to react this way. These are your triggers. You have to know what they are and to be aware of how to deal with them internally so that it isn't shown on the outside. You do not want to be perceived as an individual who cannot control themselves. You do not want to live in a state of regret where you look back and wish you can change decisions you made in the heat of the moment. When you become aware of your triggers, you will not react to emotions right away. You will begin to make better choices in your life. This will drastically improve the quality of your life for the better. This will clear a path for you to walk in your purpose. Catching yourself from the very beginning falling into old habits, it becomes easier to avoid pitfalls. Like having your foot on the brake, so no matter how someone tries to gas you, you won't take off. Remember, you are in control. Never forget that. So, once you discover your purpose, what's the next step? You now have to cultivate your natural talents. Just because you are exceptional at something more than anyone else does not mean you do not have to work hard to stay on top of your game. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. This means you can't be lazy and believe in your own hype. Whatever your purpose is, you have to challenge yourself every day to be better, faster, smarter. There is always someone out there waiting for you to slip up so they can take your spot. Never forget this. Do not get too cocky. Overconfidence and arrogance can be your downfall because, again, you are giving yourself a false sense of security. Never forget where you came from. Live like you can lose it all tomorrow. Because chances are you can if you sleep on competition. How do you think big businesses and corporations stay on top? They always have their eyes on the prize and work tirelessly to make sure these products are newer, more innovative, and they never get comfortable no matter how big their brand is. Their eyes are always watching. They even notice small businesses. That's how you have to be in order to succeed. Look at yourself as a corporation, a brand, so to speak. What do you represent? What is the message that you convey to people when you leave your house? From your image of how you dress to how you talk and your behavior, people pick up on everything. Even the wrong vibe and attitude can cause you to miss out on opportunities. It will take you longer to be in your purpose. When you are out in the world, be aware of how you conduct yourself. Be approachable, but also on point in case anything goes down. Treat everyone with the same respect and mannerisms that you would want in return. From your boss to the janitor that mops the floors, everyone deserves respect until they show you otherwise. You never know who can help you or who is in the position to uplift you. Don't be too judgmental. Give everyone equal opportunity. This is called being open-minded. Being open-minded will open a lot of doors for you that you couldn't see before because your vision was clouded by your attitude. Another step to living in your purpose is having that drive, aka hustle. Now, this is a little tricky because this is something that can't be taught. You either have it or you don't. Not saying you can't develop your hustle, but the people that it comes naturally to might dominate you. This is where playing to your strengths come into play. Maybe you might not know how to talk to people and closing deals, but you are good with numbers. Use the numbers thing to your advantage. Show that to people. They can't dispute facts and accuracy. Also, get a partner who is strong where you are weak. And there is no shame in seeking and attaining help, especially if you find someone who has a similar vision and you guys agree on where you see yourselves going. As the old saying goes, 2 heads are better than 1. Use this to your advantage. Now, when you get your businessman or woman on, you have to know that you have to draw the line in the sand when it comes to mixing business with pleasure and family. This can be tricky. People will try to guilt trip you and make you feel like you owe them something, when in reality, we are only obligated to our spouse and children. Everything else is an option. And don't let anybody make you feel guilty for your success. The law of attraction is you attract what you give out. This can be very true because it's all in your attitude, the way you perceive something. Here is an interesting story that I heard. 2 dogs at separate times walk into the same room. One comes out wagging his tail while the other comes out growling. A lady watching this was curious to know what could possibly make one dog so happy and the other so mad. To her surprise, she finds a room filled with mirrors. The happy dog found 1,000 happy dogs looking back at him, while the angry dog saw only angry dogs growling back at him. What you see in the world around you is a reflection of what you put out. This is the law of attraction. So take that chip off your shoulder and realize that the world doesn't owe you anything. Some people may have more than you and you might have more than others, but guess what? Life is not fair. And don't ever expect it to be. When you expect life to be equal, that is when you set yourself up to be let down. Now, do not get me wrong. I am not telling you not to stand up for your rights and to stand against injustice. Just know how to pick your battles. Everything does not have to be a standoff. Know that life is not fair and it may never be fair. You might have to work harder than that person who came from a 2-parent household with lots of middle-class money. And you were raised by your grandmother in the projects who did the best she could for you. That doesn't matter because you know what you need to do. Stop making excuses and do it. The sooner the better. If you know all the odds are against you, let that be your motivation that every day that you do not give up, you are beating the odds. They never expected you to make it this far, but you proved them wrong. However, as much as people say your haters are your motivators, you are not doing it for them. You are doing it for that kid who doesn't think they can get out the hood. Maybe you have a family to support. You want to create generational wealth so your children's children will never know what it's like to go to bed hungry. Whatever your reason is, use that as fuel on your darkest days when you're feeling like giving up or that you can't go on anymore. Remember that it's not about you. When you take yourself out of the equation, put things into perspective. That's why being completely selfish is also a pitfall. Remember that we were put on this earth to help each other. If not, we would all have our mini planets and be alone and would not procreate. Being completely selfish and only thinking of yourself is unnatural. Now, I'm not saying don't take time to take care of yourself. That is a given, because if you are not taken care of, then everything else will fall apart. I am saying we were made to care about more than just ourselves. I know for me, my family is my motivation. I have people depending on me every day. I have responsibilities, and if I drop the ball, a lot of people would suffer, and I couldn't be happy if my loved ones were not taken care of. This is what keeps me going on the days it gets rough and I feel like giving up. I remember that it is not about me. I look at the bigger picture. It gets me back into focus so that I can take care of the things that I need to, so that my family is good. Remember why you do what you do and who you do it for. Let that be your driving force when the road gets rough. Because adversity and struggle are a part of life. No one is exempt. Even when it looks like someone has it all, you do not know what they are dealing with behind closed doors. You don't know what they go through every day. So keep your eyes on your paper, so to speak. Worry about yourself living right and not about what anybody else is doing. Also remember, just because you admire something doesn't mean it is your purpose. Don't get off track by investing too much time in something that should be a hobby. What are you passionate about? Passion is defined as a strong and barely controllable emotion. What do you feel strongly about? What do you want to change in the world? What impact do you want to leave behind once you are no longer living? When you start seeking the answers to these questions and start finding them, you will discover things about yourself you didn't even know and would be better off for it. The best thing in this world to find your purpose is to know yourself. See, when you know yourself, there is no doubt. There is no confusion. You do not have to second guess yourself. You do not have to hesitate when it comes to making important decisions that will impact your life dynamically. Where we mess up at life is not only not knowing ourselves, but by allowing others to define us. If you are a blank slate and don't stand for anything, others will start to paint you the way they want to cater to their needs. However, when you look in the mirror, you won't recognize who you are because you are trying to please everybody. In order for you to find your purpose and be truly happy, you have to understand and accept that no matter how hard you try, you can't please everybody. You won't be able to please everybody, and that's okay. It's time you start living for yourself. Putting yourself first, because you are responsible for your own life and happiness. Remember that it is up to you to take the first steps. Procrastination is the derailment of purpose. This is because time waits for no man. While you are taking your time and putting things off, somebody else is taking opportunities that could have been yours. You are prolonging your blessings. Why don't you embrace something new and live a life filled with purpose? Purpose. Why am I here? Because life just isn't fair. All this pain I'm in, I just can't seem to win. Seems like nobody cares or understand my fears. It's like I don't even matter until my bank account gets fatter. I'm hanging on by a thread, wishing I was dead. Don't know why I'm here. Nobody seems sincere. Fake hugs, fake love. I ask God above to give me a sign before I lose my mind. Let me know my purpose. Why am I so nervous? Change can be scary, but staying the same has me weary. Today, I choose to live in my purpose I can give. Cold world, hot summer. I'm a born sinner, far from a beginner. Young baby girl, I was born in the winter. Came in this cold world, old soul, master splinter. Moms ain't want me. Pops was a Janelle. Grandmother flaunt me at Sunday dinner. Grew up real fast, life in a dash. Pain don't last, but I just want the cash. Natural born hustler shit is in my blood. Never been a tumbler. I just make it flood. The flow is so hot, but the words bitter cold. Banging like a shot. Stories never told. When my doors go up, jaws come down. I know you see the re-up. I ain't no clown. Now I see you sweating me when I come around. Same ones forgetting me, now they wear a frown. I see them whispering who she thinks she is. Guess like ESPN, I think I'm that chick. It was a cold world. Now it's a hot summer. Once a baby girl, now a cold-blooded stunner.